Hi, everybody. I hope the mic is on. It is. Weather extra time. What are we tracking? Well, warm temperatures. Let's talk about that first. Before I dive into what we're expecting for the weekend, it's another really warm day. If you have not been out and about today, it was like sweating kind of sunshine this morning. I went to go get something to eat real quick, and I could not believe how warm it was already. Came back into work. Eric Burke was still here, and I said, dude, it is warm outside. He's like, yeah, it is. Temperatures today up around 80 degrees once again. We've somehow managed to not break any daily high temperature records in Huntsville. We've missed it by like a degree every day. The record today, I think, is 82, and it dates back to 1910. We should make a run at that today, too, but we'll see how it plays out. But what we have is when we have these warm temperatures in a time of year that we know can be a volatile time of year in the Tennessee Valley for strong storms. A lot of times when you get these warm temperatures, the first thing everybody who's lived in the Tennessee Valley their whole life says, well, we're going to pay for it. And we will get some storms in here for the weekend. Speaking of storms, too, before I talk about Saturday and Sunday, because of the daytime heating we have a little bit of instability today. There could be a few pop-up storms this afternoon. They would be like, we call them almost like pulse storms in the summertime. It's that kind of pattern where they would essentially produce like a quick downpour and then they would move off. The storms, anything that fires up this afternoon is not the concern for any kind of strong storms that we have in the forecast tomorrow. With that said, even though we have a 48 first alert weather day for Saturday, I still don't think this plays out to be a widespread severe weather event on Saturday. But there is a time of concern in the afternoon. Kicks in around noon, goes to 8 p.m. The highest concentration of storms when they first move into Alabama will probably be when they're the strongest. And that would be gusts of 40, 50 mile an hour winds, heavy rainfall, and some small hail. There is a very low end chance of a tornado, but I think that's going to be more west into Mississippi. And I want to emphasize, too, is almost every time we have potential for some strong storms, you can never say zero for a tornado threat for the most part. There's always going to be that slight little chance. But I really would focus more on the rain and the wind, especially if you're in Lauderdale County, Colbert County, Lawrence County in Tennessee, even Lawrence County in parts of Alabama, especially northwest portions of the county, maybe even Franklin County too. Not Franklin, Tennessee County, but Franklin, Alabama County. As the storms first enter Alabama is when they'll be their strongest. Once we wind this thing down by about 8 p.m., as the storms move west, they will weaken enough where they become mainly just a rainmaker at that point. And that's why areas like in Jackson County, DeKalb County, Southern Marshall County, this turns into be more of a rain event for you. And you'll have some rumbles of thunder, but the stronger storm should be northwest. Once it all comes to an end, we're not done yet. There's still a chance for some storms on Sunday. It's probably more of a rain event on Sunday with just a few storms and certainly nothing in the way of any kind of widespread severe weather Sunday, but it could still have some pockets of heavy rain. While we transition from Saturday to Sunday, you'll lose an hour of sleep and the clocks jump ahead 1 hour, and therefore you lose an hour of sleep. But when we get some sun back in the forecast, the sunset will always happen an hour later, but it'll be pretty when we get some sun back in the forecast. I don't know when that's going to be. The 10-day forecast is pretty much a rain fest. But right now in the shoals, it's not. 77 degrees. You got some clouds mixed with some sun. Kind of hazy outside. Early March, and I'm using the term hazy, which is crazy. Winds out of the south about 10 to 15. Temperatures have been taking off all morning. It's already 79 in Pulaski, 78 in Athens, 75 at Huntsville International Airport, and it is not even 11 a.m. That is crazy warm. So here's your timeline for Saturday. Vacation Valley, do I see you on? What are you doing on YouTube? It says outside and turned around and went back in and changed the summer clothes. That kind of day, Vacation Valerie. Yeah, it's warm outside. Very warm. A little more humid today, too. When you go outside, you notice it. That's why we have a chance for some pop-up storms this afternoon. We got a little juice in the atmosphere. Speaking of juice in the atmosphere, there's your Saturday. The colors, everybody, are not indications of severity. The colors that you see here are just showing you the designation of time, noon to 4, 2 to 6, 4 to 8. By the time the storms get to that orange color, they should have lost their oomph a bit and should be mainly just rainmakers. But the transition will take place in the red zone. And then when it's the yellow zone, that would be the highest opportunity to have stronger storms when they first move into the areas like in northwest and western Alabama. So if you live in Waterloo or Cherokee or Red Bay or Vina or Hodges or Russellville or Phil Campbell or Florence, the Shoals, Tuscumbia, Killen, Anderson, Leicester, Lawrenceburg, you have a chance where you could have more of a punch from these storms on Saturday than, say, areas like Lacey Spring, Vallehermoso Spring, Hazel Green, Meridianville, Fayetteville, Coleman, and then even a lower chance for Albertville, Fort Payne, Fife, Sylvania, Higdon, Ider, Bryant, Scottsboro. Yeah, you get the gist. Just remember, too, 40 to 50 mile an hour wind gusts can still knock over trees and break power lines, you know. Oh, my gosh. Jeff, I'm glad to be in Cheyenne with some snow on the ground currently. I can't tell names on this because it's, oh gosh, like, that's the thing about Facebook. Like if somebody comes on, they got their name and I know who they are, but I don't know the name of that person, but just that's awesome. And bringing back Cheyenne memories, which is great. There's still some snow on the ground in Cheyenne. There's still some snow up in New England too on the ground too. No snow here. We did have some hail though. That reminded me of Cheyenne a couple weeks ago. Where the hail piles up, it was pretty awesome, like in terms of the pictures and coming in. It wasn't so great for people who were scared of it. But back to the storm threats, 40-mile-an-hour winds, heavy rainfall, small hail, and frequent lightning are going to be the highest concerns with this storm. Please keep in mind, too, that I'm going to be here. I'm going to come back at noon. I'll be watching this thing. We're going to stream, and unless something goes warning or gets really dicey, I'll probably just stream and watch these storms and kind of just babysit them for a little while in the afternoon. Now, obviously, if we start getting some damage reports or anything like that, that's priority number one. We're going on air and we'll help you out and we'll be live. We don't want to interrupt regularly scheduled programming too much on a Saturday, but we want to make sure we keep you up to date. That's our job. So we will stream, and we're allowed to stream on Facebook for breaking weather or breaking news and for severe weather. So we'll do that. Would not be surprised if we get a couple severe thunderstorm warnings issued when the storms first move into Alabama. That wouldn't surprise me. And then from there, we'll just take it and see what happens. See what they do for warnings. Afternoon planner. Remember, there are a few storms today. A few little pop-up storms. Okay? We're not completely dry today like we have been. There's a chance one of you is going to get some rain. I think it's going to be few and far between, but some of you are going to have a chance for some storms. Temperatures around 80. Again, don't get the ones that pop this afternoon confused with the ones that are coming Saturday afternoon. There's a lot of moving parts in this 10-day forecast, and it all has to do with a lot of rain opportunities. In fact, when you look at the big picture, not only do we have rain potential for today, it's very isolated, but you have a real good chance for at least rain on Saturday, whether you get a storm or not, that's severe, wind, whatever. There's rain in the forecast, and there's rain Sunday too. Forecast models split on just how much, but there's going to be some rain at some point on Sunday. Looks like one round in the morning and then another round in the afternoon. There might be a nice little break in the middle, though. If that happens, that would be kind of nice because you could maybe get a little bit of dryness and get outside and enjoy some time outdoors. And then Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, just a chance of daily storms each and every day. Very warm, very like an early May pattern where you get these pop-up storms in the afternoon. And they could produce some very heavy rainfall, but the severe threat right now looks very low. Once the front comes in and clears things out, you would think that on Thursday, even though we have showers, they would be in the morning and the temperature would drop and we get back into some sunshine and everything would be leprechauns and rainbows and we'd be good to go. But Mother Nature says, not so fast. Forecast now hinting at an area of low pressure developing near Florida off the Gulf. And if that happens, tracking north, and that's why we added the rain for Friday and Saturday. If this all plays out, like daily thunderstorm chances, and you're with that one location that keeps getting them, and then that low pressure in Florida develops on Friday and Saturday, all it means for you at home is get the umbrella ready. You won't have to do any washing of the cars. Forget about pollen. That's all going to be washed away going down the drains. Because if it rains each and every day for like the next 7 days, that rain total is going to get up there, and we could actually use some rain. we're actually behind on rainfall for the year so far. So, hi, Alexandra. A long time again, you were our meteorologist in Cheyenne. I was many, many moons ago, but I've aged a little bit since the last time you may have seen me. But yeah, we're vacationing in Cheyenne the next couple of weeks before coming back to the heat in Huntsville. Have a good day. Alexandra, when you come back to Huntsville, shoot me a message if you could. That would be great. I'd like to talk more with you. I think it's pretty awesome. I worked in Cheyenne a long time ago. I was a young pup back then. That was a long time ago. All right, 10-day forecast. The warm temperatures and the chance for rain each and every day. If I come in tomorrow and the forecast models back off on that little low pressure by Florida, I'll take the rain out for next Friday and Saturday, and we'll just have to deal with daily rain chances through Thursday. But I think it's a complete pattern change for the next week, from warm and dry for the first week of March to rainy, warm, and potential for some strong storms on Saturday for the second week of March. And that's what the Tennessee Valley will do. One thing we don't have in the long-term forecast for the rest of the month, which is interesting, is no real blast of really cold air. Maybe I think it's like the 23rd and 24th. Some of the forecast models hint at maybe like a night in the low 30s. But regardless, even though it doesn't look like it's going to get cold, I'm a big time garden guy. I love to get out there and I'd love to get my hands dirty. Don't get me wrong. But please, with the warm temperatures, don't go all crazy and plant something that you really love in the garden that's going to be sensitive to cold. I would wait till after the frost time, which is like wait till the end of April, and don't take the time to do all that work and then have a cold night and then just gone just like that, right? Especially if you have one of those like really epic gardens where you're planting a lot of things like that. You don't want to lose it all. So, all right. I had to actually pay attention to the time here. 11 o'clock, TVL. They are at the garden show, home and garden show. And they're live today. So I'm in the studio by myself, but I think I'm doing some weather hits for them. And if I don't do any weather hits for TVL, Tennessee Valley Living, everybody, I will definitely be on air for the noon. Rob here, not weather related. That's okay, Rob. How you doing, buddy? But time change happening again this weekend just means it will be dark for the morning walks at 6 a.m. Rob, we would get along really well. I'm just going to tell you that right now because I talk about this all the time. So many people think that when you change the clocks, we add more daylight, we add more hours to the day, or I've heard some crazy things, right? But what you bring up right there is huge. And so many people focus on the later sunset. And once we get a day where we have some sun after we change the clocks, it'll be easy to realize that that's taking place because the sun sets at like 7 p.m. almost. It's not quite 7 at first, but it will be like after the first 2 weeks. So 7 p.m. sunsets is great. And a lot of people love that. They get home from work. It's still daylight out. They feel like they got a little bit left of their day. But for the morning people like me and you, Rob, it's a little depressing, right? Like, I love to pop a good sunrise on air on a Saturday and Sunday. I think it's motivational. I think everybody seems to like it. I had to talk about it quickly, but I get in and get out as fast as I can, but show it still. But that doesn't happen until later now, right? So as we pick up more daylight in the evening, we lose that daylight hour time in the morning. And if you're a morning person and you really look forward to having a brighter sky when you first wake up at 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning, that all takes a break for a little while here, right? Because the clock changed. And many people have, every time we do the clock change, more so in November than we do it in March, the level of complaints come really high because everybody gets frustrated about the sunset being an hour earlier. But there's ramifications for people who get up early in the morning too. And this is your time of year to be upset about it because in March, when the time change happens, it definitely makes it darker for you in the morning. I'm not going to lie. I do like the later sunsets, even though I'm a morning person, but it is a little tough in the morning, especially at first. It gets better by like the time we get to like May and June. But anyway, thanks, Rob. Appreciate you watching. Good stuff. If y'all have any questions about the forecast, like you can hit me up anytime, on my page. Eric Burke's like pretty cool about that stuff too. We're not trying to hide anything from you. We're trying to tell you straight up without the hype and just trying to keep you aware of Saturday afternoon and the time frame for everything. So Rob says, I enjoyed the 6:15 sun rising over the tree line. I'll no longer get that sun that early. I want the vitamin D. Just another way the government is making us sicker. I don't know. I can't verify that part of the comment, but I can definitely say that it's definitely a routine adjustment, especially if you're used to that beautiful tree line sunrise happening in the morning. I get it, my friend. I totally get it. All right, I'm gonna run. I gotta go do this stuff. I gotta go. But everybody have a fantastic day. We'll talk soon, and stay up to date on the weather, and make sure you keep updates coming. I'm sure Jada will have more coming in tonight, and I will have more in the morning tomorrow. Okay, have a good one.